Yes, we're starting early with the Pep Guardiola tactics, so we're going to check one out today. Let's take a look. Yes, this is the 3-2-4 Pep Guardiola tiki taka from Jai Kumar 2004 on the Steam Workshop. There is a little bit of a description and a couple of images. This tactic aims to play dominant football, playing with 3 center backs, 2 of whom cover the wide areas, and a box midfielder. The box midfield ensures midfield and match dominance. It crowds out the normal 2/3 man midfield. You could also try using 2 10s instead of 2 8s if you need more goals. This emulates recent Pep Guardiola sides, which took inspiration from the likes of Johan Cruyff and Sir Matt Busby. So, we'll see in just a minute how it did with our 3 teams of Liverpool, Aston Villa, and our championship side of Ipswitch Town. However, the tactic itself looks pretty interesting. You got 3 in the back, a 4-man midfield, and then 3 up front. A sweeper keeper in attack starts it out, a wide center back in defend on both sides, and then a ball-playing defender in the central spot. Deep-lying playmaker next to a halfback, advanced playmaker in attack next to a deep-lying playmaker in support, inverted winger in attack with a winger in support on the right, and then a complete forward in attack up front. Positive mentality in possession. You can see a lot of things that we've seen before. There were no match instructions for individual players, so you'll see it's all down to the tactic itself. Counter press, counter distribute quickly. So I try and go through these a little bit quicker now. It is a high press line of engagement, much higher defensive line. So you got to shore up that back with those 3 defenders right there. But how did it do for our 3 teams? Well, our 2 Premier League teams at least. If we go to the home league table, unfortunately, it did not do well at all for our teams. Now, remember, this is just a sim. We're holidaying through the entire season. I'm not doing a single thing. So a lot of different factors could have played into this. Really could have nothing to do with the tactic itself. Could be just the tactic and the teams just don't match. But Liverpool coming in 7th in Europa League spots, 16, 12, and 10. Not good at all with 60 points, and that is it. Aston Villa in 10th spot, 15, 7, and 16, only 52 goals and only 52 points. Well, now Liverpool do win a trophy, so they get the EFL Cup final trophy against, funny enough, Aston Villa 1-0. However, FA Cup, they lose out in the 4th round, so very quickly, 2-3 against Chelsea. We knew they didn't bring a second trophy home for the Europa League because they were still in Europa League at the end of the season, but 4-1 win at home. Unfortunately, they do lose out 0-4 away from home in Rome, and that sees them out in the quarters. But squad-wise, still looking pretty monstrous for Liverpool. I mean, it always will. But Mohamed Salah with 19 goals. Injured Jota, 49 days, not too bad. 16 for him, 14 for Nunez. Definitely lower than what we expect from all 3 players. But assist-wise for Szoboszlai, nice with 15. Average rating is still, I mean, again, you'd like a lot more players in the green, but 7.39 for Salah, 7.29 for Nunez, 7.27 for Kelleher, even with 7 appearances. Well, I'm going to mix the FA Cup and the EFL Cup because they lost in both. You can see EFL Cup final against Liverpool we've already seen, but the FA Cup quarter, so they actually got somewhere decent. 0-4 against Nottingham Forest, though. And unfortunately, a second final and a second loss, 1-3 in the Europa Conference League final against Fiorentina. Aston Villa squad, though, Moussa Diaby with a fantastic number of appearances there. Goals-wise, 25 for Ollie Watkins, Moussa Diaby with 15. Assists, 13 for McGinn and Luis apiece. Average rating, 7.24 for Moussa Diaby. So, I mean, again, a lot lower than what we've seen before. This probably is the worst tactic we've tested so far. Doesn't mean it's a bad tactic, but it just means it hasn't worked for our 3 teams, or at least 2 teams so far. Definitely, you can see it right here. Data Hub shifts sides from what we normally see. So fouls attempted or against per game, and then passing percentage are up there. Goals, not so much. Everything else, not so much. Defensively, yeah, I mean, it's interesting. You got some numbers that are pretty high, but you got a lot missing too. And Aston Villa looks pretty much the same. Defensively looks actually, they say shaky defensively where Liverpool was good. They just don't have as high as numbers, but they're a little more spread out at least. The only stat that any of our teams actually are up in is most possession. You can see 62%. Aston Villa with 58, so definitely a possession-based tactic. Unfortunately, not very attacking, but they've got a couple numbers. They've got a couple things in here. And if we look at player overviews, most goals, Mohamed Salah is all the way down in 5th. Ollie Watkins in 7th. Assists, you got Szoboszlai, and that's it. Player of the match awards, fairly average for this. But, I mean, you do have dribbles made. But unfortunately, they are not really in any of these other lists. So, not usually what we've seen from these other tactics. Changing over to the Ipswich side of things for the championship. unfortunately, wow, relegated handily. 37, well, not handily, 36 points, 1 point down from QPR, but 22nd place. Ouch. Out immediately in both competitions. EFL Cup, first round 0-2 against Bristol Rovers, and then out in the FA Cup, third round 2-3 against Brighton. Squad-wise, not really sure what to expect here. Goals, 16 for Hurst. Nobody else even close to double digits. Assists, nobody even close to double digits. Average rating, 704 for Tuanzebe, but that's the only one in the greens. I'm pretty sure there's going to be nobody, or Ipswich, there you go, most possession. Again, a possession-based tactic. I should have expected that. But absolutely nothing else, except best pass completion, you got 90%, and that's it. And then player overview, I don't think we're going to see really anyone. Maybe passing. Nope, not even there. You do have Wes Burns, though, for most dribbles made, 197, so it's up there in that similar category. But most shots, most goals, absolutely nothing. So, unfortunately, we are going to move on very quickly from this tactic. I'm sorry it did not work out. Liverpool still getting Europa League, but really, it should have been a lot higher. But that is it for me, Sefian FM, for the Football Manager blog channel, saying thank you as always for watching. Take care and enjoy.